What is up? Welcome back to another episode of J and B Unsupervised. It has been a minute since we've been on here. Unfortunately, we did not record any content last week, and that's kind of our fault. It's our fault. But we did keep our promise, and we did get to go to an NBA playoff game. It was game two of the Oklahoma City Dallas Mavericks, and that was a pretty cool experience, honestly. Like, I would totally do it again. Hope to
Yeah,
get to do it again, I should say.
I mean, I
Like,
probably going to be Denver and Dallas. Could always go to a Dallas game or a Denver game. It's only like 8 hours away,
yeah,
and it'd be
it's
the
a
Western Conference Finals.
possibility. Like, I mean, it's a possibility. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. It was definitely an atmosphere that I didn't quite expect. Granted, I've never been to an NBA playoff game, let alone an NBA game. I've only been to WNBA games and stuff like that. So the atmosphere was quite cool. Like we pulled up on the stadium. I'm like, bro, there's no way you fit everybody in there. Like, there's just no way. And you go inside, and it's just like, wow, like, it's a
Yeah.
lot bigger than it looked.
Well, I mean, it kind of helps when the seats are like this fucking big, though.
Well, like I said, if that wall that we sat on was just like 2 inches, like my legs would have been okay.
I didn't really
I'll
like
tell you this, though,
share my
going to agree
armrest.
though. I have to say this though, and I don't know if you'll agree. Definitely going to an NBA game, you could definitely very quickly like figure out the people that know the game and the people that don't, no idea what's going on in the game very
Oh yeah,
quickly.
I agree.
Like, we had some fans like that were like, yeah, yeah, like, and then you had other fans that like, I'm like, bro, you know nothing about the game of basketball. Like, I can just see that you don't.
Well, it's weird. Like
But
it's weird. You don't even get to hear a whistle. Like I mean, they obviously blow a whistle, but like
I
on
know,
TV, you hear that bitch. But in person, like you hardly ever hear the whistle. Like there was a foul that was
I know
called, and we're like,
we
"That's
were
a
literally
foul," and also
standing
they
there.
stop.
We were sitting there and they're like, stop playing. We're like, what happened? Like, oh, they blew the whistle. Like, bro, I didn't even hear the whistle. Like, shout out to the TV crews that make you hear the stuff on TV,
I
because you
bet the
won't
refs
hear
got
that
to
in
wear
no
a mic or
fucking game, bro.
something. But the refs
So,
have to wear a mic.
all in all, like, a lot has happened since we were at that game. Dallas is up 3-2 in that series, and it's kind of been an interesting series. Kyrie Irving really hasn't gotten going. Been, about 12, 14 points per game. Lucas had ups. Lucas has downs. SGA's been there for OKC, but he hasn't really got a whole lot of help. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, it's game six. Um, they could potentially close out the series. Dallas can. Do you see OKC sending this to a game seven? Will we get our third game seven?
I think Dallas probably closes it. I think Dallas closes it out at home in six against OKC. I just, like you say, Kyrie hasn't really had to show up yet to matter. Shows up in game six, clinches it, gets a little bit more rest. I just, Shaw hasn't really had a running mate. I mean, Chet's been okay,
Up and
Dort's been okay, but he just hasn't really had that running mate with him this postseason. They're young. Like, I mean, they're young, they're
yeah,
inexperienced in the postseason, and to make it this far is a kudos to the organization and the young guys. And clearly, I mean, Chet has put his stamp on the NBA to let everybody know he here, but as long as
you
Luca
could definitely.
does Luca shit, it's gonna be them.
We were talking. You were talking about this when we were at game two. Chet just looked like I would say the moment's too big for him, but like you could see that he wasn't like, I
But
don't
he
know,
just
like
looked
he just didn't
off
look.
in warm-ups.
He
Like he
looked
was warming
off.
up and he just looked off. I'm like, that's not really exactly what I expected you to look like. I guess maybe it was just like in person or just focusing in on him, but like he just I don't know, he just kind of like he looked like maybe he's a little banged up maybe or something's just a little bit off with his
Yeah,
game right
I
now
mean,
because
in this series, he's just been kind of up and down. You haven't got what you saw in the regular season. And granted, it's a different monster between regular season and postseason, obviously. And I told this to you before. If you didn't think Chet had stuff to work on, he has stuff to work on that you've seen in these postseason things that he's got to get better at. He's definitely got to be more aggressive. Like, he's got to be SGA's running mate, and he is, but he's not. He's not there yet. Like, he's got another step he's got to get to. Obviously, um, But I think Dallas closes it out as well. I don't see this going 7 games. The only way this goes 7 games is if Luka shits a dud. Like, that's kind of the only way I feel like this game goes to OKC.
Yeah, I mean, if Luka has
Honestly.
another bad shooting performance again, then it's more than likely. But like, really, Dallas should have won Game 4 though. Like, we're gonna keep it a buck. Like
Yeah.
they shot like under 50% from the line. You can't do that.
And
Like
you lost by 4.
so
You
I mean,
lost
if
by
you
4 points, and you
shoot 75%, 80% from the line, that's a wrap. You win, and you just closed it out in 5 instead of having to try to close it out in 6. But an older team, not like an older team, but like more experienced team, they're going to come out, and if Dallas comes out and jumps out on OKC, it's probably a wrap. Like I don't think it's going to be a close game, but like Dallas can't come out flat-footed because OKC is going to come out.
PJ Washington shoot, open practice jump shots in the corner, it's a wrap too. Like,
yeah,
can't be letting PJ Washington just have practice jump shots in the middle of a game. Like,
well, I mean they sure giving that up. I would make Kyrie maybe shoot the ball. He hasn't really been too aggressive.
Do you think? What are your thoughts on like Kyrie just not really? He hasn't had that game yet this series. Like,
well,
I think he's saving himself.
Well, yeah, this is the most games he's played in 3 or 4 years, and especially now that they're in the second round of the playoffs, potentially going to the third round. I feel like he is like not like saving himself, but like trying to keep the jerk, be there when he is most needed. I guess I feel like he is just trying to be the facilitator and just trying to get a bucket here or a bucket there when he needs to try to get a bucket.
Good on defense, though. Like, he's been locked in defensively.
Well, that's what I think he's just trying to be. I think he's just trying to survive. Like I think he knows his body well enough, and I think he's just trying to survive later in the postseason. And if they do advance, I think you might see a different Kyrie when it comes to the Western Conference Finals. A more aggressive, offensive Kyrie when it's then needed, less facilitating, more I'm gonna go get a bucket. Like, because we've seen it, he does it, he can still do it. Yeah. So it's not like he can't do it. He's just choosing not to right now.
So, I mean, so yeah, I'm just waiting for him to kind of honestly have one of those games, and tonight might be one of those. Tonight might be that night where he has one of those games. Get this series over with, get some rest.
Well, I mean, if Luka's having another off night, like Kyrie, like to me, like if Luka is obviously the number one, Luka is having an off night, Kyrie has to take the load and go and score. Like you have to go be him. Like go get a bucket, go down. Yeah. Like you got to. Like otherwise, we're going to see Game 7 back in OKC.
Yeah. Another series that you really been you called, hit right on the nail, being a dogfight was that Knicks Pacers series. It's going 7 games. It's been a dogfight. It's been back and forth. OG Anunoby is going to be a game time decision on Sunday with his hamstring if he's going to be able to play for the Knicks. Josh Hart had to come out of Game 6 with an abdominal injury. Do you think that Thibodeau is hurting the Knicks? I mean, these guys are playing.
Why do you think they're hurt? Why do you think they're hurt? He overplayed their minutes in their regular season, had a very competitive physical series in round 1 against the Bucks.
It's been a physical round 2. This has been
and then the round 2. This one's very, very physical. I mean, the Pacers have to be very physical on the boards, and they have to bump and grind you. So I think he overplays his guys in the regular season. The regular season does not matter as much as the postseason. Yes, play, but you got to cap their minutes. You have Jalen Brunson out there fucking playing 38, 40 minutes a game. Like, that's a problem. Like, yeah, he's the star, but like
basically playing the whole game. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, it's funny that everyone was dogging Thibodeau in the season, and that he pulled Josh Hart before he could get his triple-double. And Josh Hart's like, oh, that's fine, that's whatever. No, fuck you. You play me almost 40 minutes a game, and then almost can get a triple-double, and you yank me? That's bullshit. Let me get 1 rebound, then pull me. But in the postseason, I don't have a problem with the coach playing their stars, wire to wire, because, like, it's the postseason. That's what I've saved you for. But why do you think Julius Randle was hurt? Outside that he seems a little bit fragile now, he gets played into the ground. That's what Tom Thibodeau does. I mean, Derrick Rose, prime example. Jalen Brunson, dude, is on one fucking leg out there with an injured foot and a bad shoulder. Like, The dude is just
Bad, fucked up hand. His hands all taped up. Like
yep.
the dude is. Like I said, I feel bad for the Pacers. I feel bad for the Pacers and the Knicks because you're going to go very banged up into the next series. Whichever team moves on, you're going into the Celtics banged up and hurt.
Well, who do you got? Who do you got coming out? Whether or not OG Anunoby plays or not, who do you got coming out? Pacers, Knicks.
Game 7's obviously in New York. And
First time since like 2000, I believe.
They've
had a
only
game 7.
lost 2 Game 7s in their franchise history.
Pacers was one of them.
Only lost 2. And I'm going to honestly, I think I'm going to go Pacers. I just think the Knicks are too banged up. I think the Pacers win Game 7. And that pains me to say, but
are you picking the Pacers because you think the Pacers are going to be a better matchup against the Celtics? Or are you picking the Pacers because they're the more healthier team to go face the Celtics?
Both.
I got the Knicks. I think the Knicks take care of it at home. The Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton does not show up on the road. I think he's a budding star. Like, he's approaching there. But I just doesn't – to me, he's like a role-playing star. Like, Miles Turner, shows up. But I just don't – Pascal Siakam has showed up on the road. But Tyrese Haliburton has just been so inconsistent. He's supposed to be that dog. And he was showing him in the regular season, got – a little banged up and kind of pulled back a little bit, it seems like, but he just seems very inconsistent. Like, he has to go and match, in my mind, Brunson bucket for bucket or stop him on the defensive side, one of the two. So I'm going Knicks. I think it's going to be Knicks, Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals then. Close game. It's going to be a dog fight.
You have very valid points on that one for the Pacers. I just think if the Pacers make it to the Celtics, I think it could go 5, maybe 6. If the Knicks get to the Celtics, I think it's over in 5.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the Knicks are a better constructed team at currently sitting player-wise than the Pacers.
They were more healthy and not so banged up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be Game 7 is going to be in Madison Square Garden. That place is going to be absolutely fucking rocking. I mean, every game's been rocky, but they're going to be rocking. It's Game 7. It's the Pacers. So
role players play better at home. Role players play better when they're home, and then the Pacers are the away team. So I don't expect much out of the role players.
Do you expect it to be close at all, or do you think like the Knicks just kind of go in being at home? They're just going to.
Well, as a fan, I hope it's close. I hope it's close as a fan, but there's been I think there's only been like one blowout in this series, so I'm gonna say it's gonna be close.
Close, that's fair. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna literally come down to like the final, like who's got the ball last type of ordeal.
I mean, that's what we want for a Game 7.
Speaking of Boston obviously took out Cleveland. They're waiting for the winner, obviously. Kristaps Porzingis is still not gonna play in the Eastern Conference Finals, but is going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. They don't know when he's really going to be back. They're hoping he'll be back for it. And
I don't think they're going to need him.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if they're really going to need him regardless of who they play, but, I mean, it's definitely going to be big for them to get him back. I think in order for them to have any chance of winning the title, he's got to be healthy regardless of who they got. But the team I really want to talk about is Cleveland. There's a lot of turmoil going on over there. You were talking about it on your TikTok. Donovan Mitchell, Garland seems to be not good.
Probably not a good fit.
Bo agrees. I think Bo agrees.
You agree, dude?
Bo had to give his 2 cents.
Yeah. So. Sorry. But apparently Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, one of them in one of their camps, feel like they're not a very good mesh. And if the Cavs do bring back Mitchell, it's came out reportedly that Garland and his camp will request a trade. And I'm like, I mean, Garland has looked good with Donovan Mitchell out. He actually, you and I were talking about like, wow, like where's Darius Garland out? Like, bro, you're supposed to be his running mate. Like, You kind of
And then
disappeared, and then Mitchell got,
Mitchell goes out and he pops
hurt
off.
or
Like,
quit or a little injured, pulled a Kawhi, whatever it may be. Garland showed up, looked good, like this. That's what we thought we were getting. So that's tough. But like Garland's not a superstar. He's not even necessarily really even a star. He's a rising player. So I think it's tough to try to act like you have this, like try to puff your chest out and be like, if you resign him a star, an all-star, I want out. Like
yeah.
that's tough. I don't think you're
I
going
would
to
say
get
this
enough
though.
back.
I would say this: if Darius Garland wants out of Cleveland, and like I said, I don't think he's a superstar or a star. I think he's an all-star, and I think he's a great point guard at times. He obviously can showcase. He can be a number one option at times. Obviously, would you like to see him say he gets traded? Would you like to see him paired with Wemby? Do you think that's a good fit for Wemby
No.
down in San Antonio? You don't like him down in San Antonio?
No, he has not unless Garland grows up, because Darius Garland to me has a very childish mindset. Like he wants to. I think he thinks he's the number one guy, and he's at best a running mate. He's the best, Robin. He's not a
I'm
one
not. I'm
A
not.
or one
I'm
B.
not
I'm saying
comparing.
his mindset is wrong. So I don't think it would work well. Not unless he would mature and put himself in check, knowing I need to facilitate. Victor's the number one guy. Like that wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't hate it, but there's to me, if I'm the Spurs, I'm really hunting for a bona fide superstar already at point guard.
I'm not comparing the two situations, but this kind of reminds me a lot back when Cleveland had another superstar pairing duo, obviously different, LeBron and Kyrie. Kyrie wanted to be that number one. He wanted to be that guy he was tired of being, and he wanted out. It kind of feels like Cleveland's going through that again with, Garland. Not the same, obviously not the same,
No, nowhere near the
but it's
same.
like you want to be that number one. It's not easy being that number one. Like
No,
Kyrie
I mean,
figured
look
that
at
out
Kyrie.
very
He
quickly.
tried, and Kyrie had the culture shock of like, okay, like that's a lot. It's more than just going out there and balling. You have to be the team
Yeah.
leader. Like KD. KD needs another bona fide superstar. KD's not a complete 1A player because he doesn't want to really be that leader that goes and puts his teammates in check. KD just wants to go home, chill, work out, hoop, come to the games, hoop, go home. You need that guy, as a Curry, Draymond, a Westbrook to come in and keep those guys in line, and that's just
It's
not
not
who
easy being
KD
that
is.
number one. A lot of these guys, they think it's easy. Like you said, it's not easy. It's more than what you just think it is.
Well, it's more than
So
scoring and hooping. You gotta be a bona fide leader and have respect of the organization, top to bottom. You have to obviously have the mutual respect with the head coach, and because if the star doesn't have the the approval of the head coach, or the star doesn't like the head coach, then none of the players are going to respect the head coach, and that's how you end up with like 6 head coaches in a row.
to me, from everything that I'm seeing, especially on NBA.com and things I've seen being reported, it seems like Donovan Mitchell says he wants to stay in Cleveland. Now, I don't know how much I really truly believe it, because there's been talks that he wanted to be traded. He wasn't feeling, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Another thing that you were not a fan of that we were talking about is Cavs head coach on the hot
Yeah.
seat to be possibly fired.
Now, the only reason why I'd be okay with moving him is if that would, because like Kyrie, like for example, Kyrie and Luka, when they retained Kyrie, they traded for him, and then they brought him back in free agency. The big question was, could Luka and Kyrie work together? Could one of them sacrifice their game? Could their game mesh? Well, as we were seeing with a couple other trades they did this season, it works. Kyrie realized, I don't got to be him. I'll play my Batman Robin role and let you be Superman. And you have to get a head coach that can mesh Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Otherwise, if Garland leaves and Mitchell comes back, why would you get rid of the head coach? Now, granted, I think that's something that's on the head coach for not being able to make them work together, but sometimes your play styles are just too similar, and both of those players, Mitchell and Garland, aren't really off-ball guys, everybody's an off-ball guy, but you have to be willing to be an off-ball guy. Mitchell, in his career, now that he's a little bit older, I think maybe would be willing to, but he's better than Garland. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to take the side role and be off ball when I can go get the bucket. I'm better facilitating, better controlling the offense than you. I don't like.
So
I don't like the. I don't like the.
speaking of Donovan Mitchell, staying on the Donovan Mitchell subject, I don't know how much podcasts you obviously watch. I watch a little bit here and there. And Gilbert Arenas had Brandon Jennings
Yeah.
on his podcast, and they were talking about Donovan Mitchell, saying that he is not a bona fide superstar. And Brandon Jennings also said that Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell. What were your thoughts on those comments?
I mean, that's cute. Malik Monk's not better than Donovan Mitchell. That's just cute. Maybe as like a leader in the locker room, maybe, but Donovan Mitchell is by far. I mean, there's a reason why Monk is a max contract player, and Mitchell is a max contract player. That's just clickbait.
Mitchell is a 22 point per game scorer. Malik Monk is like 14, 15. Like that's a big difference.
Well, he's half right, but he's half wrong. The Monk part, you're just kidding yourself. Like, nobody thinks that. Like, no, Monk might think that cool, bro, but you're not. But a bona fide superstar, as in like the franchise cornerstone, I don't really think Mitchell is. I don't really think he is. I mean, Monk's obviously not. So if Monk's not a cornerstone guy and he's not even skill set better than Mitchell, then he can't be better than Mitchell. But I don't think Donovan Mitchell is really the cornerstone guy. He's a great 1B, but you have to have the full package of 1A. And he's not the leader in the locker room that's willing to take all the shots and keep the guys in check, like we were talking about, like kind of like KD. KD's a great 1A on the court, but you have to have also a 1BA, like a Curry, Draymond, that leader. And Mitchell's just really not. He doesn't come off that way. But I think a lot of that comes with maturity, and as you get older, you can develop into that. Like, I think Kyrie is a guy now with Dallas that keeps the guys in check and lets Luka be Luka.
Yep.
Not saying that Luka doesn't keep those guys in check, but Kyrie definitely, as he's gotten older, has realized there's more than just trying to play the game of basketball.
Yeah. And then the other Game 7 that we have has been very entertaining. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets. 7 games. It's been interesting. Like, this series has been, I don't know, like, Jamal Murray has been ass this series.
Yep. Jamal Murray should have missed a game or two for throwing the fucking heating pad at the ref on the court. Like, Cat almost stepped on that. Like, if Cat steps on that, Cat probably might tear something. Cat's a big boy.
He threw a towel and a heating pad, got $100K. Rudy Gobert did this.
At the ref.
He gets $75,000. Like, bro. So break it down to me. Like, I just don't understand. Like, but outside of that, Joker's actually had some tough games this series. He's had games where he's turned it on, then he's had games where it's very uncharacteristic for him. He's not shooting above 50%. I mean, he's putting up shots and they're just not going in. We've been on Rudy Gobert getting cooked.
He's been cooked. He's been cooked. Like,
he's been cooked. Yes.
Like, he's been cooked every game that Gobert has guarded. Joker has destroyed him. Like, if Cat's not in the game and Gobert has to guard Joker, it's a wrap. Like, I'm giving the balls down to him, and Joker's getting the bucket.
We're watching the game, and the announcers are literally telling the world, Minnesota doesn't want Rudy Gobert guarding Joker. They want Cat guarding Joker. Why don't you want the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year supposedly guarding the best player on the planet? I just...
There's no supposedly he is. There's no supposedly he is.
Like, I'll tell you this. Rudy Gobert was not Defensive Player of the Year. I stand on that. I still can't believe that Anthony Davis wasn't even in the conversation, that Bam was. But Victor should have been Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry. Yeah. He should have been.
Yeah. Like, honestly, he should have won it in a landslide. Victor should have won the Defensive Player of the Year in a landslide. And the voters, I need to know who these voters are. I need to know your criteria. You got to be exposed. Because I don't understand. The MVP, I'm solid with. The Rookie of the Year, solid with. Sixth Man, solid with. Most Improved, solid with. But Defensive Player of the Year, you fucked the award up when you didn't give it to LeBron. Instead, you gave it to Marc Gasol. But yet, LeBron was first team all defense, and Marc Gasol was second. You fucked the award then. And then, it was like, okay, got a little bit better. And then this was, to me, a big pivotal point to really keep the Defensive Player Award meaningful, and you just shit the bed. Like I told you all year, Defensive Player of the Year goes to a good team. And the Spurs were not a playoff team, so Victor didn't get it. Like, if the Spurs were the 8 seed, or if Spurs were even a play-in team, like they get to play in the play-in, I think he probably wins it then. Yeah, I think that, but that's ass. Like, the Defensive Player of the Year award is an individual.
I just think we changed the criteria way too much when it comes to these awards. You're always adding something to it, you're subtracting something from it, and it's just taken away from the awards. Honestly,
well, you don't like the MVP.
I generally I have a bigger problem with why the fuck was Bam in the top 3? Where we thought AD should have been top 3. Bro.
It should have been Victor, AD, and nobody else. Like, it was really nobody else.
When the finalists came out and Bam was in there, I'm like, bro, I don't remember watching Bam do anything defensively. Like, I had to really stop and think. Like, I was like, what? Like, really? Like, hold up.
Yeah.
Like, what did
even in the playoffs, I was like, when Bam came out, Bam was and made the finalists for the Defensive Player of the Year. I was like, okay, the playoffs started. I watched him. I'm like, wait, where's this defensive, stalwart that I'm supposed to be watching? And Bam, I'm like, damn, bro, you trash. Like, you don't deserve to be in that category. But you don't like the MVP. You don't like you don't like the MVP. You don't like Joker getting the MVP.
I didn't say I didn't like.
You didn't like it. No, you said you didn't like it.
SGA. I thought he did it with less talent around.
You said you didn't like it. You said you didn't like it. You don't like it because he got 3.
Generally, like last year, I will tell you he probably should have been a 3 time. I didn't like the fact that he would have won it 3 straight years, but he probably should have had it last year.
But should have won it.
For me, in my mind, it's just hard. Like, I still don't believe that Stephen Curry should have been the first unanimous MVP. There was way more dominant people before Curry to be a unanimous MVP. Like, that's just how I think. I just think it should have went to SGA. I'm not mad that Joker got it. I said that on my TikTok when I did my video. I'm not mad that he got it. I just think it should have went to SGA.
No, you mad. You mad. You mad because he got 3, and it puts him in a bona fide air with certain players that have 3 MVPs or more, and you mad. You bring up past players. Well, Kobe had this many. Shaq only had this many. I can't help past things. The reason why you didn't want Joker to get 3 in a row, because you're like, well, LeBron didn't get 3 in a row. The last person to get 3 in a row was who? Jordan? You're like, oh, well.
Larry Bird. Larry Bird was the last one to get 3 in a row.
Okay. Joker should have 4 in a row. When you're the best player in the league, you're the best player in the league. Now, Shaw is ascending in there. I think Ant's ascending in there. And I don't think Joker's going to get another MVP.
What, 12 in a row?
Yeah, he really should have, yes. But voter fatigue is stupid. Just like, think about how many... But think about, like, in football, think how many awards, like Patrick Mahomes is going to get voter fatigue very quickly. He has 2.
Well, he has 4. You know how hard it is to get 4? So
I don't like it. But I don't like the voter fatigue. I think he should have 4. You don't think he should even have 3. Like, you think he should be stuck at 2. Like, no, he's the best player. Top. It's him and then everybody else. Granted, yes, I think there's ascending players, but I don't think Joker gets another MVP because of the fatigue, because of people like you that don't think he should even have 3, let alone had a 3-peat of MVPs. Because he should be sitting at 4.
I think he should have 3. I would just reverse last year's and this year's. But it would make him 3 in a row last year.
You wouldn't give him you would not give him last year's, because that'd be a 3-peat. And 3-peat on the MVP award, and you wouldn't have liked that. Because past players didn't get to have that, so why does he? Why are you trying to change that criteria to fit that narrative? Don't try to fit the narrative. If he's the best player, he just should get it.
You say that, but think about the other players that didn't get it.
Who? Shaw shouldn't have gotten it. Lucas shouldn't have gotten it.
No, I'm saying you're saying that the best player should get it.
Yeah, I can't change the past. I can't change the past. I can't help that Kobe should have got more, Shaq should have got more, Bron should have got more, Jordan should have got more. Like, I can't help that. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about right now. Quit trying to make things right for past mistakes. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to hamper somebody and trying to keep them out of, in your mind, in a certain criteria they don't belong in, because with 3 puts him in a criteria with big men that you don't think he belongs in. And that's bullshit.
Well, puts him in an elite category with just players alone that I don't think he belongs in as a player.
I just don't think you like Joker because you're hating on Joker's greatness. I don't know why. But I also don't think you
belongs in that category
because you don't like his demeanor about the game of basketball. He talks about going back home to Serbia and running with his. Why should it matter? I shouldn't have to bleed of the NBA.
No, it don't.
That's why you don't like him, because he doesn't bleed NBA. He bleeds what his real passion is, which is ponies. He wants to go home to his ponies. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't help that. He is so great at basketball. He doesn't even have to care about the offseason. He goes home and plays with his ponies.
Because the way he's shooting in this damn series, he probably should practice a little bit more.
50-50. Still has 3 MVPs, 1 Finals MVP, and 1 ring, and potential to get another one this year. That's why you don't like it. I figured it out because he doesn't bleed. He doesn't bleed NBA. He doesn't bleed NBA, and you have a problem with it because he wants to go home and play with his ponies. That's why you don't like it.
Because if somebody else, if you got mad at a player saying it's just basketball and blew it up and say that he doesn't care about the game, Kobe or Michael would have never said that. Joker, literally, you ask him, does losing motivate you? Nope, don't care. We just blow it off in the fucking wind like it don't even matter. That's a problem for me. That's a big problem.
No, because LeBron, Jordan, Kobe,
it's not even LeBron.
Shaq.
KD would have said it. LeBron said it. Russell Westbrook, Kawhi, any of them.
Because
you would have made it a big deal.
Because they all put themselves.
Joker says it just swipes under the table.
Because Joker's never came out and acted like he's cared like them. All those other players you just named off, that I named off, have always came out and acted like they bleed NBA basketball. Joker never has. Joker's like, I just want to go and play with my ponies, dude. That's why it's not a big deal. And that's why it bothers you. Because you want to compare him to past criticisms. If he's the best player on the fucking planet, it has to matter.
And he don't even care. That dude, that staple, number one, there's nobody better than him. It has to matter.
Not to him. It can't matter if it doesn't matter to him. So the media could do what you're asking the media to do and berate him, but it wouldn't matter because he don't care. So the media, that's not a story there. LeBron bleeds it. Westbrook, KD bleeds it. He don't care. So there's no story there. And you don't like that. You hate his greatness and you hate that he don't care. It's fine. We figured it out.
I just hate that you want to place somebody as the best player on the planet and put him on the face of that, but yet you're not going to give him the same criticism that you've given the other people that have had that spot.
He don't care. He don't care.
Criticism.
No, but he don't care. So there's no same criticism. He hasn't asked for any of this spotlight. He doesn't ask to be glorified like the rest of them do. So then you get the backlash.
You're the best player on the planet at this very moment.
And he doesn't ask for any of it. No, it doesn't. Only if you put yourself out there like the rest of them have. So then you get the backlash. He hasn't. And that's why you don't like him. We're going to get you a Joker jersey. Everything's going to be Joker. You're a Denver Nuggets fan now. Nope.
I like his game.
Nope.
But I'm saying,
why you hating on it?
If you're going to be the face, you have to be able to you have to give him the same criticism. You can't change it because he don't care. That doesn't work that way.
That's exactly how that works. There's nothing there to talk about because he's never came out and acted like he's cared. It's a paycheck. He goes and plays 82 games, playoffs, and then he goes home to his ponies. You're mad. You're just mad because he doesn't get it because he hasn't put himself out there in the media. He hides from the media, so you can't berate him. You berate him, cool. He goes back to fucking Siberia or whatever. Y'all, I'm playing with my ponies. I don't give a fuck. Serbia. I don't give a fuck. Both places, same. Serbia. Same. Both have ponies. He owns that place. It don't matter. You're just mad. You're just mad because he don't care. He don't care, and he's still the best player in the NBA. That's crazy.
Well, he's not gonna be the best player for much longer.
Still has should have 4 MVPs, has 3 MVPs, 1 ring, 1 Finals MVP. He never asked to be the best player, but is.
Currently, at this moment, I don't know how much for much longer he'll be the best player.
Still is, though. Still wasn't is. Was and is.
He got a lot of work to do because Ant-Man's coming in Game 7.
He don't. Well, he cares about. I mean, he cares about winning that, but he don't care if Ant Man takes the fucking
I
title
think
as the
honestly,
best
I'm gonna
player.
tell you this: Game 6, when he lost and they put that camera on him, and you saw his face, I think it was the first time in his damn natural basketball life that it mattered in that moment to him. I expect him to have a big Game 7. The question I'm gonna have is Jamal Murray gonna be playing basketball, or is he gonna be somewhere MIA? Like
I've always
419 ain't getting it done.
But like I've always told you, you can be the best big man, the most dominant big in the game of basketball in any era outside of like the early era. But if you don't have yourself a guard or a point guard, you're not going to go far. Every game that's been bad for them, Jamal Murray has shit the bed. Joker could drop 50. It won't matter. Jamal Murray has to beat him and facilitate, and they have to be that pick and roll deadly.
Really rubbed me the wrong way. This whole postseason, he's just rubbed me the wrong way with his answers. Like his last interview, he's blaming the arm injury or this injury for the way he's playing back. Like, bro, I don't want to hear you're playing. Like, I don't care. Like, it is. I'm pretty sure Joker's probably got an injury somewhere that he ain't talking about.
See, that's my point. Jamal Murray puts himself out there for the criticism to show that he cares. Joker doesn't do that, so there's nothing to do that with. So there's nothing there. But to me, the big I think you and I are both in agreement. For the Nuggets to win, Jamal Murray has to be playoff Murray, and that pick and roll game has to be nonstop, no matter who it is. If it's Joker and Jamal, Gordon, KCP, all of them have to be.
It's almost felt like the Timberwolves have said we're taking away Jamal Murray and we'll live if Joker beats us, because like you can't stop him. Like you have to. If he misses, he missed. Like you just like yeah, like he missed. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's not going to put himself in a bad place to take a bad shot. He doesn't force shots. If the shot's just not falling, it's just not falling, and you live with it. And they've just been in Jamal Murray. I mean, Ant guarded him in pretty much Game 6, was in his ass. Alexander's been in him. McDaniels has been in him. The only dude that can't play really defense out there is Gobert. He's just out there running, lost. Look, like, you can have more effect defensively in this series than Rudy Gobert.
Gobert doesn't know.
I promise you.
Gobert doesn't really know what Gobert's doing half the time. He's like, oh, look, a ball. I caught it, throw it. I don't know. For me, for the Nuggets to win, it comes down to Jamal Murray showing up and Joker's shot going down. But for the Timberwolves, I really don't know. Like, they dominated them, the game 1, game 2. Looked like dog water for 3 games in a row. And then elimination game 6 hit, and they beat the dog shit out of them by 45 points. So I really don't know.
It was 9-2, and then the Timberwolves never looked back. They just went on a run and never looked back.
Kind of like Joker said. When Joker said it, when they asked him that post game, he was like, "Well, when it was 9-2, it wasn't looking so good for them, and that was it." Like, yeah, you're wrong, my guy.
To me, it's gonna come down to. I don't even think it comes down to Cat, Gobert, and it really comes down to Minnesota's defensive presence. Like, how are you going to show up defensively against the Nuggets? Because they're going to come. Well, Joker's going to come, Aaron Gordon. It's really going to be Murray showing up. But for me, for the Timberwolves, it's going to be about their defensive presence. You have to bring the same energy you had in Game 1, Game 2, and Game 6. You're going to have that defense of mindset going against this Denver Nuggets team. Like, they know that they're there. Joker knows it. He said it. He's praised him. Ant knows that it's not going to be easy to knock off Joker. It's going to take all 15 players on both teams, whether you play or not. You're going to play a fucking part in this Game 7. And this, to me, I think is going to be the best Game 7 we've seen in quite some time. Like, I expect this to be a fucking dogfight.
I don't know.
I almost hope that the referees are not out here and fuck up this game, honestly. Like, I hope it's a good crew. The whistle is not, I wouldn't say the whistle's light because you got to call fouls, but like, oh God, he touched me foul. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, let them play. It's Game 7. This is what we live for. This is what we want as fans, it's the 2 greatest words in sports. Game 7. Like, that's what you want.
Yeah. I, I
So
I just don't want there any calls that you can go any throughout the whole course of the game. Any calls you can go back and point out like, well, this was a turning point, or it was this, or it was this that kind of turned the tide of the game. I just hope there's
yeah,
none of those bad calls, and I don't really know what to expect. Like it's either been a blowout. It's just really just kind of been a blow. It's never really been close in this series on either
yeah,
side. I don't know if it's a blowout. I wouldn't be surprised, but it is in Denver. Got the altitude, so I mean that kind of favors Denver a little bit. But I mean, the role players are going to have to show up. But like you said, I agree. The Timberwolves defense is going to have to be top tier.
like
And if it's close, I like Denver if it's close though. If it stays close, I like Denver. They're used to the altitude. You saw in the Lakers series when it's close, clutch time. Oh, you get tired, you get
I mean, we were
gas.
literally sitting there talking in that Lakers series, like Darvin Ham, call a timeout, dude. These dudes are dead on the floor, like they can't run.
They're crawling up the
So
court, dude. Like, bang a timeout.
they like it's going to come down to, like I said already, for Minnesota, it's going to be defense and coaching. Like the coaching's going to matter in this game 7.
Yeah.
The calling the timeout perfectly, and like obviously Ant, Cat, and like the role players got to have big games. But like I said, it's going to be defensively and coaching. And for the Denver side, it's really just your bench needs to be able to score points, and Jamal Murray's got to show up. Like
Okay.
Jamal Murray's got to have like, I don't even think Jamal Murray's had a 20-point performance in this series. I don't think he's had one yet. I think he had 18 one game. That's it. Like that's the highest he's had in this series. So he's gonna have for me a 20+ point per game performance on at least 50% shooting. Like it can't be 419, 412. You have to be at least 50% in this series.
So the
Or
X
this
factor.
game.
So the X factor. If the Nuggets to win, is Jamal Murray has to be playoff Murray.
But
What
you need Bubble Murray. Like you need Jamal
and
Murray to show up. Like
for the T Wolves to win, is there an individual player, or is it you just going with like for the X factor for them, or is it their
if
defense
I would
that's
have
going
to
to be the
pick an
reason?
individual player, it's McDaniels. I think
Well,
McDaniels has got to be big like he was in Game 6, knocking down the 3 ball and playing defense. If he gets that again, that will be huge
it'd be
for
huge.
the Timberwolves.
I agree with you on the Nuggets side. I think Jamal Murray. I think the role players will show up. I'm not worried about the role players at home. Game 7, been there, they've done that. A little sneaky little X factor. I think Christian Braun out of KU. He has been big in their wins that they've won.
Yeah.
He's played a lot. He's closed a lot of their. I think he's closed all 3 of their wins. He's been on the court. So, but I think Jamal Murray. I'm not really worried about the role players. I think they'll show up. If Eric Gordon's hitting that 3 ball from the corner, it's gonna be
Aaron
tough
Gordon
for
showed
them.
up. Like Aaron
It's gonna be
Gordon showed
tough.
up in this series.
But for me, I'm surprised you picked McDaniels. I thought you were going to say the defense as a whole. For me, it comes all the way down to one single individual tall 7-footer, and it's Cat.
Oh, Cat, I thought you were gonna say Gobert.
Nope.
I was saying
It's
I
Cat.
would put my
It's Cat.
okay.
Cat gets into foul trouble so quickly, so fast sometimes, and takes out whatever game plan, whatever rhythm they're trying to get into away so quickly, and that hurts their defense, not having their Twin Towers out there to play that defense, to be able to switch like that, and to help, Gobert, the greatest ever, weak side defender. And to me, it's Cat.
Put Rudy Gobert on Aaron Gordon to guard in the corner. That's literally where they put Gobert on defense.
Okay,
you saw it in Game 6.
He great help defender. He great help defender. That's what you get that's how you win the Defensive Player of the Year award, is being a great secondary defender. But for me though, it's Cat. Cat has to show up. If Cat shows up, I don't really think it's close. Like if Cat shows up, I don't think it's close. I think we could potentially maybe like a double-digit win for the T-Wolves if Cat shows up on both ends and doesn't get into foul trouble. But it's a big game. It's a big moment, so he won't. He never has. So I think I got Nuggets winning.
You got Nuggets.
I got Nuggets.
I'm going. I'll rock with Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's going to get his and do his, but his Batman, the Batman trash. Cat, he don't show up in big moments. He gets in foul trouble. He gets stupid fouls, makes stupid plays.
He does. I mean, literally, Ants called him out in press conferences. Like, bro, stop fouling. I need you on the court. And he didn't do it in a bad way, but he's like, bro, like I need you out there. I can't do this if you're on the bench, bro. Like you have to be out there on the court with me.
Yeah. You're not
Like I
wrong.
said, it's gonna be very exciting. Like I'm looking forward to that game. Like
Yeah.
it's like, dude, it's gonna be a banger. At least I
So
hope
you
it's gonna be a banger.
well, I hope all the game sevens are close, down to the wire. But so you got T Wolves winning over the
T-Wolves.
Nuggets,
Yep.
and you got
Pacers over Knicks.
Pacers over Knicks. So
We got
you got
Dallas over
Pacers and Celtics in the East, and you got you got the Dallas winning over OKC.
Dallas. Yep.
So you have OKC, T Wolves, and I got the Nuggets in Dallas, and I got the I think I picked the Knicks. I got the Knicks to the Celtics. So we're a little bit different. I mean, it's okay that you're wrong though. It's okay to be wrong, my guy. I'm just saying when the Nuggets win and they have game 5 back in Denver, I guess we gotta go to Denver, watch the Nuggets game, and get you a Joker jersey because I'm going to make you like the Siberian pony lover. Like you're going to stop hating on the greatness, dude. Like you're not going to be all these LeBron haters. Like you can't grow up. Like enjoy the greatness till it's counts because he ain't going to be around forever. His ponies are going to.
I don't know if he's even going to sign his next contract.
Oh, that's too much. That's like $80 million a year. He's going to take that. You know how many ponies that buys? That buys a lot of ponies.
He owns Serbia. He don't need no money.
He needs more ponies.
Pony and they bring it.
He's trying to get into Kentucky Derby. Don't play. Like
bro. I don't even think he'd want to dress up to go into the Kentucky Derby, bro.
He don't give a fuck.
Who's
gonna stop him and his brothers from walking into the Kentucky Derby? Not a single fucking soul.
I tell you, I wouldn't. Fuck that. No. See his two brothers come back, bro. Come on, right in, bro. Champagne over there, brother. Real quick before we wrap all this up, I know a lot of people have been talking about it. We've talked about it outside of on camera. Bronny James in the NBA draft. You still standing on he should go back to college even though he's looked good in the draft? It looks like he's not going back to college, but we both kind of feel like maybe he should go back to college, go somewhere where he can showcase being a number one. But he's looked good.
It's tough because he obviously athletically, nobody ever questioned athleticism part of the draft combine for him. Like if you're questioning that, you really haven't followed him at all. But like in the 2 scrimmages they played, he looked a lot better, a lot more aggressive mindset in that second scrimmage they had.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like for him to go back to college. This is a weak draft, so that does benefit him. But I would like him to go back to college, but pick the correct school that could develop him. Because I don't think you're really going to see it in game, but it's going to be a lot of practice development that he
we were literally talking that if he went back to college, he needed to go to a coach that made sense. And I said someone like a Coach K that's not there no more. And we were like Bill Self, and you brought up fucking
Calipari.
Say his name.
Calipari.
You brought up Calipari. Like to me, like this thing, those are the 2 coaches that really make the most sense. Unless
maybe
he goes
the UConn head coach.
The
UConn head coach wouldn't be bad.
Wouldn't be bad. But I just think he needs to go somewhere like that. Honestly, someone that can really hone in to that skill and tap into what we want to see come out because he has it. You hear people that he's worked out with, like Gilbert Arenas says he has it, but you have to really kind of squeeze it out of him because he doesn't play that way. He wants to play the right way, kind of like his dad. Make the right play. He's defensive minded. I literally compared him to Drew Holiday. He literally got up on the podium and compared himself to basically Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
That's basically what he is.
Yeah. Derek White. Yeah, I will say though, I didn't think mainly because it's I kind of blame his dad for not having the prettiest jumper, but he had a really wet looking jumper. I'm like, that's consistent looking. They had him running around the court and he hit 12 straight threes. I'm like, all right, boy can shoot. Boy can shoot. Like, I mean, that's if that's all he is a 3-and-D guy. Like, I mean, no one can expect him to be LeBron. And if you are, you're just dumb. You're dumb and you're kidding yourself. Yeah, so I think
Michael Jordan's kids weren't even Michael Jordan. Shaq's kids aren't even Shaq. Like He's
No,
not going to be LeBron. Like there's only one of those dudes. There's one LeBron, one Shaq, one Jordan. Like they'll never be
there's not really.
their
There's
father.
two
Like
Jordans. There's two Jordans. You got Michael Jordan, and then you have Kobe Bryant, Jr.
but yeah, Kobe was the closest that came to
But it wasn't
he was
obviously
closest.
an offspring of him. But like, no, I would like him to go back to school in the right situation. But like, if his shot is true, like it looked, it wouldn't be bad. But again, hopefully he can navigate himself to the right situation. Me personally, I don't think playing with his dad would be the best thing for him. I don't really like that with him trying to be his own guy,
I
his
mean, I have
own
to say
dude in the
this
league.
though. He has said all the right things at all his press conferences. He said all the right things. I'm just trying to get to the league. I'm not worried about playing with my dad.
Yeah, well, he
I'm
finally
not
answered that too, though. Like he's
He did.
ignored it, and then at the combine, he was asked, like, "Do you want to play with your dad?" And he's like, "I really don't care to play with my dad. I know that's something he's came out and said that he would like, but I'm here to
I'm trying to get
create
to
my
the
own
league.
path."
Yeah, and that he said all the right things. I did see where he has moved up in the mock draft to pick 55 in the second round. I've also heard a lot of talks. The Lakers have brought him in for a visit, which I'm not really surprised that they brought him in for a visit.
No,
But I've heard that the Dallas Mavericks could honestly sneak up and grab Bronny for the simple fact of, LeBron's put out there wherever my son goes, kind of where I would like to go because I want to play with my son. So Dallas might set themselves up to grab
Kyrie,
Bronny
Luca,
and Kyrie.
Braun.
Like, fuck it, I guess. Like, go
I
for it,
mean,
I guess.
I think that's the problem though. Is like outside the fact that I think LeBron would actually potentially consider going to Dallas, I think that would hamper Bronny's development, not necessarily with Dallas, but any team trying to drum up to get him in the hopes that his dad follows. Once his dad's gone after 2 years, then what?
Yeah,
Did the dude develop his game? Is he ready to really, take whatever role that is? If he didn't have a role, does now? I really don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up getting taken in like the late first. Because obviously he's going to the draft.
Or like early second or mid second. Like it's gonna be late. It's gonna be either late first or mid second. Like
I can see late first, early second. I do have a question though for you. What is your thoughts on Harrison Butker's comments and how the media has pretty much berated him, and now Harrison Butker has the top selling jersey in the NFL?
Again,
Top selling jersey in the NFL. So really, was it that people caring or the media just trying to push a narrative?
Well, you had the whole over 30,000 people sign a petition to get him kicked out of the league or want the league to kick him out. And the league came out and said that, we're not getting involved. Like his comments, we didn't push that narrative and whatnot. I just went back and I'll tell you this. I went back and watched it and people made it seem like he said that women, when in reality he said his wife didn't become who she was until she got married and had kids. He never told the females out in the chairs that that's what they need to do. He just said for his wife. And I just think people misconstrued what he said, like the media took clips and put them out there. Look.
But what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I just don't give a shit. Like,
fair enough.
Honestly, like
I really don't care.
That's
I think
it's disrespectful because I got a daughter. Like I know that just because you're married or a mom, that doesn't define you. Like you can do other things, but like it's his opinion. Like that's just the way him and his wife think. Like, and he got up there and spoke. Like obviously the college knew he was going to say something like that. I was assuming you have to go over what the fuck he was going to say.
But see, the thing he's Catholic. That is Catholic thinking. That's really how you were raised. Like, I mean, the man is the man.
He's a pastor at a church. He's got his own church. I'm pretty sure.
Being a pastor has nothing to do with that. Pastor is more the word God. But
he has his own that's
beliefs.
He's got his own little thing.
But again, people that are getting upset about that. It's funny to me because to me that's just women that's never really had a man be there and that they can rely on. I can't help that. Really, the society is built like that. Like I'm not trying to dog it because a woman should go do whatever you want. Like go to college, be the head of the household, do whatever you want. But that is how society was unfortunately made, was by men, and women did stay at home and have 12 million babies. Like,
Yeah,
but I think it's
like I
just
said,
funny he was
people.
a
I just
top
think
selling jersey.
people. I just think it's people bitching about something. It's also the Kansas City Chiefs, and we've been in the limelight, so it's just something more to throw fuel on a fire that's already
Well,
blazing up at this
speaking of our
point.
Chiefs, since we haven't, and it was
Uh,
all been NBA talk, thoughts on Xavier's Worthy fucking car getting stolen from his apartment?
I know, Kansas City. What the fuck's up, man? Like, get the man his car back, bro. Like, I told you, I literally said, Brandon, we going to Kansas City about to fuck some people up, bro. Like, give my man back his fucking car. Like, what the hell?
Dude ain't even
Like,
there.
I couldn't believe that. I'm
Hasn't
like,
been there
y'all
two
gonna do this
months.
man like this? Them fucking Raider fans.
I'll
Them
tell you
fucking
what.
Raider fans,
I bet it was a Niner fan.
Probably a Philadelphia Eagle fan. Like, there's as many fans you could choose from. I just thought that was crazy. But I'm excited, man. Like, I just kind of wish our Chiefs players would stop getting in trouble. We had 2 Chiefs players that were picked up for marijuana possession, and people are making a big deal about them. Like, bro, it's marijuana possession. They'll pay the fine. They'll go home. Like,
It's weed.
it's legal on the Missouri side, just wasn't legal on the side they got caught on. So
See, a lot of players don't even know where Kansas City was. They're like, is this Missouri? This is Kansas. I'm confused. I thought it was Kansas. Why am I in Missouri?
again, like our team's just in the limelight right now because we're going for the 3-peat, and the Rashid Rice incident happened that is getting taken care of. Then the Harrison Buckner, and then people bitching about the kid. And then we got people bitching about the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL. Made their schedule for Taylor Swift. Well, yeah, she's bringing in over $300 billion to your. Like, of course, you're going to make the schedule around Taylor Swift. Like, get over it, bro. Like,
The people that made the schedule, they actually came out and said that they did take some of her scheduling into consideration because they bring in more viewers. Like, it is. I mean, that's how the NFL makes most of their money. It's not that people go into the games; it's the viewership. So,
and for the people that are bitching about it, it's not. Yes, we don't have the toughest schedule. Granted, we're going to get everyone's best shot. We don't have the easiest schedule. We're hovering right around mid-pack, but you people bitch about it, but our first 2 games are literally rematches of AFC Championship games, weeks 1 and 2. Like,
yeah.
So people that are bitching, they took Taylor Swift and our schedule. Like, we still have a tough schedule. Like, I don't know why y'all people are out here crying.
I didn't know Taylor Swift was coming down onto the field and she was playing for us. I didn't know. Like, she ain't gonna win us no games. Like, I mean, she might help us win a popularity contest.
People are literally bitching about the Buffalo Bills game because she'll be a day off from 2 hours away. I'm like get over it. Like, we're in Buffalo. Like,
I guarantee you,
it's a home game. We're in Buffalo.
When we went to Buffalo, you know how many fans came just because Taylor Swift was there? Jason Kelce literally hopped out of his suite and was handing little girls up there to meet her. Like, fans come to games to watch the game, but also to see.
I get it. People, you had Matthew Stafford's wife that came out and said that she's tired of it. Well, be tired of it, man. Like,
watch the game,
like, worry about Matthew Stafford and what the LA Rams are doing. Like, why do you care about what Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce are doing? Like,
but the thing is, when it comes to Taylor Swift thing, too much of her, not enough of her. Any publicity is good publicity, whether it's negative or bad. People are still talking about you.
And again, I'll tell you this too, and we've talked about this. Taylor Swift doesn't control the cameraman putting the fucking camera on her during the game. She's not there for the camera. She's there to watch her man and enjoy and have a good time. She's not there for you to put the fucking camera in her face. So, like, for the people that, again, bitching about it, she don't control the camera. Like,
they really need to be putting the camera on Brittany Mahomes. They didn't put to me, they need to put the camera on Brittany Mahomes. Have you saw her swimsuit calendar or her?
Her swimsuit, it came out.
Oh, damn!
That's a lucky man. Like,
oh yeah,
they're all doing big things out there.
I mean, they definitely fake boobies, but it's alright.
Oh man,
Mahomes can afford it.
I'm ready. We're getting we're like almost 100 days away from the season. Like,
something like that.
It's actually not a bad schedule. We looked at the Monday night games, the Thursday night games, Sunday night games. Are all really good matchups. Like, honestly, especially the Thursday night game. Last year's Thursday night football was garbage.
Potentially, though, because potentially we'll see.
They look good.
That's why the strength of schedule thing is always kind of funny to me because you can kind of look through and see what your team is playing. And you're like, okay, like this team's going to be good. Like Eagles are going to be good. Cowboys are going to be solid. Chiefs are going to be good. You know, the Bengals, the Bills, like, you know, these teams are going to be solid. Potentially the Texans, maybe the Colts, but like, then there's just like the bottom water teams. And it's kind of like, okay, well, that's a lot. I mean, that's a dub. That means that team's not going to be good. It's not. But the problem is, it's not our fault that our division is now in the shitter. Like the Jaguars, or not the Jaguars, the Chargers, they have Herbert. He's throwing the ball to himself, I guess. The Broncos, they drafted Bo Nix, but like, who knows what's really going on there? And then, yeah, traded for Zach Wilson. Then the Raiders, I don't even know what the Raiders are doing. Again, the Titans are throwing themselves the ball. Yeah, Gardner Minshew, but yeah, well, I mean, we'll see.
Real quick. So, outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, what team are you looking forward to this NFL season?
Zero. Bengals. None.
You gotta pick.
I'll give you two. In the AFC, I am looking forward to. Well, okay, I have 1A, 1B. I'm curious to see the Colts and Richardson, AR, if he can stay healthy, and the Texans, see if they can keep developing and turn into potentially a super team for the next couple years, a little mini dynasty, I guess, if we want to throw that word around, but that's a little early, but to see if they can, strong and take that step. And then on the NFC side, okay, I guess I have maybe two. The Eagles. I'm curious to see if the Eagles, with all that talent, with those new coaches they brought in, can get it turned around. And that's probably about it, really, on the NFC side. I mean, like, the Niners kind of always been intriguing to watch. I guess maybe for me, I would say Seattle. I would say Seattle.
Yeah, okay.
I'm curious to see what Seattle does. They brought in.
I honestly thought you were going to say the Falcons.
No. No. Like, I mean, it's good. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, but no.
Caleb Williams, see what he does with supposedly all this massive talent.
He has, like, I guess I'm not really I'm intrigued by being a sports fan. I'm intrigued by it, but like, I'm not like jumping up and down, holding my nuts. I can't wait to watch him because like it was presumed he was going there, and he's going into like. If he's on a wild card team, it's a failure because you're coming around with all that talent. I get he's a rookie, but he got drafted in the best situation out of all the quarterbacks, really. But I don't really like the organization. To me, is not stable enough, and I don't really like the head coaches they have in place. So I expect them to compete.
We're going to wrap it up on this note.
No.
Joe Burrow.
No.
Joe Burrow's wrist injury came out as it was 65.
Fake.
What?
Fake news.
Fake news. Joe Burrow, there's talks that Joe Burrow's having still difficulties with that wrist. The surgery wasn't as successful as the surgeon would like. I'm very curious to see Joe Burrow this season.
I'd be curious to see something like his velocity, but also I think it's going to affect him more when he finally gets hit for the first time. And when it starts getting cold, I mean, your wrist is a very
cold. I guarantee you that wrist will be wrapped.
If those reports about his surgery and how it went and his recovery are anything close to true, I'm very curious to see his touch on the ball, the velocity, and I'm curious what the Bengals are really doing as a whole with, Henderson, wanting a new deal, wanted out. Higgins wanting a new deal and wanting out. But, like, really, I'm just kind of serious when he starts getting hit, when he falls.
That has not got paid.
But when he falls on it, though, when he gets hit or when it starts getting cold, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's something to always keep. I mean, he's fragile, so I'm not really surprised that the surgery didn't go well.
He's been hurt a lot, and it seems like Cincinnati does not care.
Not pretty much. They put him out there week 1, and they shouldn't have last year.
Jamar Chase even said, "Bro, get healed, get 100%. I don't want you out here
that wrist injury was just like out of the blue. Like they were so concerned about. Like I think it was his calf in the offseason. Like there was another injury he had that he was dealing with, and all of a sudden he's like holding his wrist. I'm like, Was it like your thumb, your finger? No, it's just wrist.
And
I'm
then
like, what
remember when he went to go throw and
the-
he couldn't even. I was like, what in the world is going on here? And then he was just done. I was like, damn, like wow.
Like I said, it was just like a random injury. I'm like, bro, fragile. Wrap him in bubble wrap.
Football season's getting very close. I'm excited. Playoffs are wrapping up. We're excited. It's a good time to be a sports fan right now. That's all I got to say.
3 game. We have what 2 game 7 Sunday.
Yep, two game 7s. We got game 6 tonight. So the Western and Eastern Conference Finals is right around the corner. We're right there. June 6th, I think, is the NBA Finals start. So
something like that. Yeah,
we're close. We're real
close.
close.
You gotta get you that Joker jersey.
Oh yeah, but we appreciate you for joining us for another episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to the podcast. We'll see you guys next week.